Hello everyone and welcome back. Do we have a banger today? We get to play some more new cards, which is the best part about new sets. My dog's going crazy, so if you hear her barking in the background, that's why. But other than that, we get to play new cards like Case of the Gateway Express and War Leader's Call to pump all of our tokens, all of our creatures, and get in and be as hot and heavy as possible in terms of aggression towards our opponent. Outside of that, I hope you all enjoyed the content. I hope you enjoyed the video today. And if you do, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I truly appreciate any support that you guys give me. And other than that, I just appreciate you watching. So let's just get into the games, see how they go, and see if we can't just push our opponent's cards back into their deck boxes. Look, opponent. Look how cool we are. We're so unique and definitely playing different decks. You're going to do the same thing back. Do the same thing on the other end. For me, it's definitely going to be just War Leader's Call into Recruiter, I think. Especially if the pace of this matchup is to be quicker than our opponent. And just be like, alright, here's 8 damage. Good luck. Yep. That's kind of the thing, right? Because now I do all this damage. They're just stuck on the back foot. And obviously they don't know what's in our hand, but like if we rip another land, this into this is absolutely devastating. And like, what are you going to do? Block here, trade your mouse off, block another thing, like then take 4 and leave behind 6 damage and you have an empty board. It's just like not reasonable to do. So we take a win very quickly against the mirror. We were on the play, so you know that happens. We'll definitely keep this. Playing Knight Errant on 3, so that's pretty cool. An epic here. Hope that's good. Attack. Do a little bonksy boo. Flash in the reinforcements. Is it mono red? Oh. Sure. Attack. I'll race mono red. I like racing mono red sometimes in these matchups, especially if I'm first. Because like sometimes you can just develop so much tempo against them. Sure. Not really giving them any sign that I'm anything special. So we'll put reinforcements in play. How that goes. Opponent. Let or make the token. And what an anthem to play after this too. I'm going to tap out everything to play this Knight Errant Vias and try to find more 1-drops. That player's scared. Honestly, it's just the fact that this gets so much value that it's so hard to beat. It's like now you don't want to fight these. This is a 4/4 that you have to answer. And the real problem for them is going to be what this finds. If I get to play it this turn, like this thing is going to come in after, buff everything to the moon. Yeah. I mean, that's all the upside that we'd want. Lead off with this. And then we play this, we name human, and then we blow everything up. Mono red again. I'm just what is happening? Why am I facing the mono red gauntlet all of a sudden? Human, this one. Do the thing. There's an in the festivities that's on site with someone. Let's you do it. Oh, it's Boros. Oh, you're also Convoke. Okay. Man, I really want to play Knight, but I just can't. I have to get this. I have to get this Bunny Corn off the battlefield. Plus, this will then grow. Like, my board will get way more counters. They say nice. I like that. That's cool. Pick. Let me draw a land, see what happens. Ah! A Well, I mean, I'm not taking a turn off, I think, to play play a Knight Errant Vios. I think I have 8 damage on the board, so I'm going to continue to do my 8 damage. But is it... Yeah, it's literally not worth it. It's like draw land and we're killing. They have so much on the board they have to deal with. Geological Appraiser is interesting. Okay. Attacks because it kind of has to. Now I feel a little more obligated to do some shenanigans. What if I just do the ones that are summoning sick, Arena? Like, thoughts? This. Find a great human, probably the best human we could have found. And then we find another one. Just play this guy out. Pretty good. So we play this guy out. It also seems slightly better. Hopefully they don't remove it. I just thought of that. That would be bad. I didn't realize it was going to top everything when I did that, but if they remove it, I die, I think. 8, 9, 10. Close. Mono. Okay. Really close. Okay. My problem is I have lethal on the backswing here. So, they go for it, of course. We block the lifelinker. And the game is going to be chalked up from there. They just have nothing they can do. I think. Oh, maybe. Who knows? Combat. Attack. Obviously, I don't know what they could have had for 1 white, but well, they only had 1 card in hand too. Go first. I mean, this hand's not like the worst. These are probably by far the worst like lands to have with this hand. Just because obviously these are like spell lands, so you don't want them to be the main lands you have to play if you can prevent it. But we see a mulligan from them. We kept our opener. And Nganjo in play. Throw out the inspector. You know, get cooking immediately. Now, if they're an aggro deck, we play Sokazan, we flash in reinforcements, and then we case whatever they're doing. Pop this immediately, and we just go to work, you know? Don't oops me. Where do you? Mean oops. Blue, green, white, red, black. So they have every color active. That sucks. I'd love to play this, but I think I'm going to play it post-combat here. Because I feel like they have to be just holding a leyline binding. Yep, and there it is. Yeah, that's fine. End turn. And then we'll flash in this reinforcements. If they play a Topiary Stomper, we'll then shoot it out of the way. And then really just put them on watch pretty much. Bramble Familiar, pretty much the same rule applies. Unless we have lethal. Which this would only be 10, so it wouldn't quite get us there. I don't know what that means. I say good game and then I did that and I don't think they quite think it might be a good game anymore. Based on the damage, we play this. And then we just hope. Good to populate, please, sir. The card that you can't play. As I would assume this is the invasion deck. I think the good game was because the next turn they were going to play invasion and hopefully hit it. There's tap land. Pick. This one. I have to assume they're holding up like interactions, so obviously we got to basically go for a little bit of an overkill is what it will look like. But again, Leyline Binding taking one creature, taking Leyline Binding taking our saga over here. Are these called sagas? Yeah, they're called cases. Okay, they take our case, lowers our creature's power and toughness. Now they have to do it twice. Maybe not. They good gamed us a little early, but I don't know. Maybe that was just because like they knew it was over for them. Who really knows? Nemesis. I mean, you know what you're doing if you're Nemesis and you have Big Teferi as like your hero. You know what you're doing. All right. Well, I mean, we'll keep this, I guess. I think I just take one turn of damage off to just play the Inspector and the Voltarian Epicure at the same time, maybe. Who really knows? Not me. Yeah, I'm gonna take one turn. Just play it down, then play Sogalon and play both my creatures here. Hey, there's a Warden of Sky from our opponent. There's an Aganjo from us. Play Epicure. Play Inspector. And the real hope here from us is that they don't really play enough to get this Warden online. And then we can just play this case and then pop their Warden here. That's the hope. Will that be achieved? Who knows? Answer very quickly, by the way. The answer is no. That goes up. We playing the same rough list here. Just another land. That is a little frustrating to say the least. This is one of the few times I'm going to go ahead and cycle right away. And that's like a good enough reason to do it. Fire these off, you know, do a little hit ski bill, and then we pass. Then of course we'll flash in this. The main thing we need is for them not to have this. So they can't really remove our creature in play. If we would have did this in response, like took out some of their stuff, then it wouldn't have mattered. But they could definitely case here. Do that. Maybe they'll activate and make their Warden really large. Bunnycorn is kind of devastating as well. How do we answer all this? Tough. You just tap your 3 creatures, leave a Bunnycorn and Warden. It's like moving around like it's an actual decision to be made. Really not. So I mean, we still have outs, I guess. Like we can still get rid of this Bunnycorn. We just will have to deal with the Warden kind of being a nuisance. But we definitely have to get this Bunnycorn off the battlefield. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But we want to do this here, 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 like that. Almost a whiff. At least it felt like almost a whiff. Play a Warden. Play him this case. Shoot this thing. Now they have to be careful if they want to tap. Yeah, I can feel the power too, big dog. We're feeling so strong. So bulky, so scary we are. They have to be careful what I was saying with the Warden of tapping. Now they can keep it back as a vigilance creature, but the problem is what the board state is. And if we start playing things that anthem our board, then them attacking with the Warden is not going to outpace it. But the opposite could be true. If they can get the Warden attacking early enough, I'm not going to be able to outpace that Warden. They keep on top, so I feel like it has to be an anthem. Or maybe even an answer to this board. Who knows? That card does something. Okay, they take my Warden. Cool. Alright, well, go all out here. Get to do some stuff. Play that. We can play this. I mean, we're definitely in kind of an all-out attack mode, I think, especially with what we got held back here. Again, like, I understand they have a 4/5, but I can Enganjo that out of the air. So that's kind of where we're at. I think maybe they know, but they're gonna throw a block regardless, and we're gonna Enganjo it. Now their big threats off the board. We play this out. We solve our case. Our creatures are huge, and now we can reinforcements, which will give us more creatures. We can crack this, maybe find something with haste. Who really knows? We're willing to let this frontliner go in terms of saving our life total a bit, because again, we can bring it back from the graveyard. Have 2 white mana. Knight Errant is I'd play, because like you have to block my knight, but also you almost lose the game because of this. And if I had a way to discard this, though, I mean, combat, Dover is just a, oh, it's a 1/1. They can't even trade this now. Yeah, we just pumped this. I always think this is a 1-0, like normal. They have to block Knight Errant. If they don't block Knight, they lose the game. Saw them like running down the line, like they really had a, like they really had a choice on that matter. Let's crack this. I should have done this before. I guess it didn't matter that much. And then with those in play, I'll just go ped and play these out. Maybe they'll do something. Maybe they won't do something. But Nemesis, it seems like I'm your foe today. I will take this win. Got something for me? Yeah. Not quite enough. Now we're in there. In. Yep, and they let it all go through. Oh, and opponent goes first. We get to play human off the rip, forge, demolition, and epicure. We have to do it the opposite way. So we have to play epicure first, and then play inspector after, and demolition after that. If we do this, we'll take our 1 damage here. We're gonna have to do it this way, so we'll have the red available for the gleeful demolition. Obviously, second cavernous souls, we could have played it named vampire, did whatever we wanted to do there. I got science damage equals damage rather than power. Oh my god, I'm getting hit with the walls. Help me right now. Human, we'll play this. I'm in a fever dream, I think. I think our hand's pretty solid, so I'm gonna get rid of the blood token. I'd really only get rid of a land, and I might not even do that. So we make a lot of creatures. We pass. Mono green. This has to be the big, like, turtle, right? It's like 11 mana. Sentinel. That's cool. This assigns combat in. Yeah, okay. Okay, yes. Okay. I'm thinking. I'm with you, team. So what we do here is we play this. We take a little bit of damage. Just a little bit of damage. We fire off this case. We shoot this down. A little bit better than the thing that assigns damage in terms of a 3/3. We attack because they'll get 1 block that's good for them, and then our case will flip. And then we will be slamming a recruiter on the following turn and trying to put as much pressure on the battlefield as we can. If we can set up 1 more turn, we will. The only problem, again, is this is, we call this sometimes, we call it big butts. Cannot lie. So what will happen is they'll basically play a lot of creatures with a lot of toughness instead of valuing a lot of power. And for that, we barrel here. I guess it answers this, and they're only left with the hammer skull, right? I guess so. That was a little bit of a tank session there, but definitely get in there. We attack big. Hammer skull, block recruiter. That block another thing, and they take 12 here. Yeah, I guess when you do the math, I should have barreled that a little bit quicker, probably. Is fight rigging to save you? Blocker? A blocker. Back up. Okay. Nice. We look for a win here. Okay. Not like that, though. I can tell you that. We have to make sure we have our mana available if possible. That's a win. Doesn't have to be pretty. It has to be there. Block, block, block. Then all this will come through. And then we'll play an epic here. See, Manor tried to get us. Really did. And we come up and win over the big butts deck. Now, do I think if that lasted one more turn, maybe two, do we have a chance? Probably not anymore. But that's the whole point of our deck. We'll lose late game games all day. We want to win early. All right, we're one game away, so we will play another one. Before I go to the outro, the video is getting quite long, but who cares? Good-ish. I actually don't mind this hand that much. The more I sit here and kind of dwell on it. Like, this card is kind of tough, right? But if I do draw a lot of my 1-mana spells, this hand curves out significantly better. Oh, no. It's the scamper. You draw a land, so we can kind of play this one first, so we have red and white available to us. The only real problem is I don't know if I could beat that early enough or quick enough. +2 hit for 3 seems pretty good. Good proliferate that if that's what you're into. We'll pass here. Really just gonna be a reinforcements come in. Not really a whole lot I could do about it. Like, on some extent, it's kind of like I kind of want to play this reinforcements and block this. I really think it's worth it. But I just don't feel like they kill my other creature. Yeah. Just preventing some damage here. When it's turn face up, add 2 mana of any one color. Or 2 face down card. Guys. Sure. We deal damage to that, and they'll probably kill our reinforcements in response. We really kept a 2-lander, just drew 3 lands straight. That we drew so many lands in a row that we haven't played the 2 lands we started the game with, which has kind of led us to not developing any tempo here, which probably means we end up losing. Is tough for sure. That has ward. I can't really answer it regardless. Yeah, I kind of figured that's what that was. It hit for a ton. Knight Errant just not going to be enough, I think. I'm just getting way too pressured here. If I play anything small, this can just give it minus whatever. Like, playing that's just not going to do it. And we fall short here a little bit. I don't want to take any credit away from the opponent, but realistically, for what our deck does, we did not do anything that our deck does, and we just fall short. 3 land draws in a row on a risky 2-lane keeper. We thought a little tough to swallow, but all right. Well, so this is a weird list. Not weird in a bad way, but weird in like you're just so all in that sometimes you're going to play a game in which you'll by turn 2 know whether you're winning or losing. More often than not, you'll know if you're going to lose pretty much, unless like a miracle kind of happens, like your opponent floods out or something. So there's a lot of cases like that that can happen. But for us, we end up getting there on a lot of the games today. This is a very streaky deck. This is like, you find yourself going first a lot on the day. This is the deck that you want to be playing because it's so strong on the play. A little bit worse on the draw, but sometimes you can kind of like get there. And a lot of that comes down to this card here. Being able to kind of remove what your opponent's doing, or sometimes you'll get to play like an Inspector or a Voldarian Epicure, and then pop it with a Gleeful Demolition, and then use this card later on to pop everything and just get it off the board overall. But the main thing I like about this deck, and what's really cool about it, is the amount of ways that you do like the Anthem effect, or get like a +1/+1 across all your creatures that doesn't rely on a Lord. Is with this and the Word Leader's Call, these things have been so good in combination, and then playing a Recruiter after that, because a lot of times when you play the Recruiter, you're like, I'm making my 1/1 a 2/1. Nothing's really happening there. So what gets nice is like earlier where you remove something and then maybe you got to flip this, because we've seen that happen a few times in these games today, is be like, play a thing, Gleeful Demolition, pop it on their next turn, and then use the Knight Errant on all of our creatures, and then build that huge board state. And this pumping goes already up to a 2/1, and then having this come in, making them all deal 3, or like maybe you establish a War Leader's Call and really go for the 1/2 buckaroo if you would. And it really is matchup dependent on how you play that. There's no like set formula. I mean, there kind of is, like, as you play way more matches, you'll be like, against this matchup, if these are the cards in my hand, I want to do this, this, and this, and that leads to more wins. But here it's kind of like case by case. If you're like, they don't have a whole lot of removal, they haven't removed anything, so I'm going to take one more turn to set it up. If I'm playing against control, like, I have to know Sunfall's coming on 5, and I need to threaten that lethal now instead of waiting. Because, like, if play around an Emperor, for example, and you're like, I don't want to attack to an Emperor, and then they just play a land at Sunfall, you lose, you know? So sometimes you have to force them to have both Emperor and Sunfall. Sometimes they'll have one, not the other. And you really have to judge based on how the game is flowed out, that you're like, I don't think they have an Emperor, I think they're trying to survive to a Sunfall or something like that. Then you can kind of figure it out. Not that difficult. It's not like that difficult to figure out, but it is at the same time. There's only one card I think I would play in this deck that's not currently in this list, and or two pretty much, and that is, well, how much their lane count? Like 22. Maybe you bump to like 23. Maybe trim this a little bit. I do think this is a really, really solid deck list, or maybe like some of this nonsense, or even like don't even worry about this because you can play so many 1-drops and it's just strong. But I want to see whether it's good or not, because this is just creatures and this is just creatures. Like, how good is Packle in this deck? And also how good, I don't even like care necessarily as much as Adeline, but Inti. Those are two really strong cards that have been played in Boros for a while, and to not see them pop up in this list is definitely a little bit surprising overall. Also, I didn't mention this, I don't think, at any point. This list was played by Doomwake. Doomwake's a streamer, YouTuber. I think he's been on and off again, whether he's been doing it full time. I think he was doing it full time, then went back to work. Now I think currently now he's doing it full time. This is a list he came up with. He does stream and stuff like that. So this will be his deck list. Just forewarning, all credit to him for this. And that's another reason there's a sideboard, because I really don't play with a sideboard. But the other thing here too is, like, we didn't play Thalia at all, which, like, I like playing Thalia in these lists, but I understand why we can't, because 2 mana, 3 mana, 4 mana. But playing Thalia means Sunfall's a turn slower, so when we're on the draw, we can kind of get there at times. Also, like, those awkward cards like Emperor's 5 mana that we don't have to play around, and it kind of helps buy back the play sometimes. So it's a little weird. It's like a toss-up. A lot of times, as you've known from me playing, I'm not as big of a fan of the Gleeful Demolition game plan. I think it's such a dead card a lot of the times if you don't, like, You basically have to pray that you have one of these in your opener, and if not, if you draw these, they're just dead cards. Like, they don't do anything, and you have to kind of combo them with, oh, now I play this, sweet, then I Gleeful Demolition, and then I Recruiter and give them haste. If you don't do it that way, a lot of times you make the tokens, and then they're like, lockdown, like blow up your board, do something. And so it's weird. It's weird. You definitely have to tempo your hand out. You definitely have to kind of pay attention a little bit when you're playing this. Other than that, the deck is good. Is this exact version tuned for best of one? And the reason I feel like maybe we need to play Packle and NT is you do have to be a little bit grindier in best of one at times. Like, just being the all-in deck is great and all, but sometimes, like, you can find space too. You can trim to 3 of these. A lot of people play 3 knights. If you really wanted to, you can go down to 3 of these, and then boom, right there you have Packles in the deck, and you're not necessarily cutting the strongest cards of all time. Because again, Knight is good for refill. This is good for early development, and this is good if they're playing creatures. So like, if they're not, that's the best part about best 3. You just sub all these out. You're like, they're playing no creatures. I don't need these. Get them out of the deck. But for us, in best 1, if they're not playing a creature, we're stuck with it, you know? Like, we just have to play it and flip it to the bottom part and be like, I guess my creatures are slightly bigger, which is sometimes good. Sometimes it's not bad. It is a lord that cannot be removed as easily as a creature can. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed. I had a wonderful time playing this deck list today. Way better than the deck I uploaded 2 days ago, because this will be coming out after Rakdos. Because Rakdos will be Friday. This will be Saturday. It's past 12 o'clock, so it's already Thursday. I'm trying to get ahead on my uploads so I don't feel as rushed on every single video, because I felt rushed a lot of times. It's been a lot of stress, but, you know, it's fine. I mean, having a full-time job and doing this and doing other things to try to set up like a series is pretty difficult at times. So other than that, I hope you all enjoyed. I had a wonderful time. I hope you had a wonderful time watching, and wherever you are, I hope you have a fantastic day, night, evening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.